Now this has had me having sleepless nights. This is one of, I would say, the biggest topics. So when we come to thinking about how we're going to release items. So organising stock drops, not as simple as you think, but there are certain things to consider with a stock drop. If that's something that you're doing, you're working on a website, organising stock drops comes with quite a few layers to the actual organism of it. Probably the first thing would be, what are you looking to actually release as stock? The second point would be, what's kind of the reason behind this? I think that sometimes when we come back to the intentions of things and we look at what the intention of this drop is doing right now, so maybe it's summertime and you have loads of t-shirts like these and you want to encourage the sort of purchase of t-shirts, graphic t-shirts, you know, organising a stock drop around that is creating a good suspense on the internet. It's creating a demand before you are there to supply it, but not too early so that other people have enough time to do it. I mean, not to get too competitive with things, but a lot of organising stock drops is about meticulously timing your attack, but making sure when I was doing it, being in the industry with a lot of competing brands, it was all about coming with a cool idea and making sure it wasn't too soon before somebody could essentially jump on and do it. It's not to say that there was a big copying community, but when people see a cool idea, they tend to want to do that idea. You know, I remember did a football shirt collaboration or like a football drop. So one thing I used to do, just to get to a point, so one thing I used to do in order to organise stock drops was I would obviously create the concept first. What am I actually doing a stock drop of? So take the football shirts I did, for example. I had a delivery of like 500 football shirts, and I was thinking, what is going to be the angle of this? Now, for anybody who's known the brand for a while, I'm quite a visual person, so filming content has always been a big part of the brand, a big part of what I've wanted to do with the brand. And a lot of the content I made at the time was organising models and creating like this angle. And if you went on the Instagram, you'd probably be able to find the football content. So I heavily used social media to pivot and pioneer suspense for a collaboration. That was one of the biggest places I did, and I loved creating visual content that was exciting. Something that you would watch maybe a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks maximum before, and you'd be like, oh damn, like I want to get involved with this. I like the suspense of it. And, you know, I can totally respect that a lot of creative content being made has to be done with a budget in mind, because otherwise you can be eating into a lot of costs, especially if you're a brand wanting to explore that. It does take a lot of leverage before you can kind of spend money on that. But I have got ideas to basically tell you how to create concepts on a budget in upcoming videos whenever I pick it out of the little pot. So I used to love making the content. I can't even lie to you. I used to love creating an idea. And a lot of the time, it was basically how the brand got to the point where I was organising stock drops was so to go back to the loyalty of the suppliers, I had certain suppliers that I used, and with that loyalty, they gave me sheets before of this is what we're getting in, this is what we're importing, and I was like, I'm going to run with what's on offer rather than complicating a concept and creating something. So a collection that I never got round to because I was never able to source it in time was I really wanted to do a bowling shirt collection drop, and I wanted to shoot it at like a bowling alley, just be so on the point of it. But I thought, cool models, playing bowling, doing this bowling shirt, looks really cool. It's even got me excited thinking about it. Because it was just so cool. The thing is about like organising the stock drops is a big part of my role was the creative infusion behind the scenes. I just loved thinking of a concept and working with that. I've done countless collections where we've done our Deadstock Champion, we've done Disney, we've done our best performing one, which was when we did these 90s Nike high neck drops, and we had hundreds of people online, and they sold out very quickly. That was when we got something, I think, there that not everybody else was capitalizing on, or it could be because of the angle I'd created. So when it comes around to organizing stock drops, it comes back to the point of what is the stock you want to drop? What is the trend association behind it? How relevant is it to people right now? If it's summertime and you've got puffers and parkas like North Faces that you want to drop, how relevant is that to what you're pushing? How are you going to use social media to pivot that direction? Are you going to use social media? Or are you just going to use Instagram to feed it through to your Depop with, a nice aesthetic? There's so many ways, but when it came around to what I did, I was fortunate enough to have the momentum and the snowballing effect of what I was doing, and I was really enjoying the content creation point of it. For me, the creating the content sat just as high, if not higher, than the stuff that I was actually buying. I loved the stock I was buying. I still love what I handpick, and everything I get now is handpicked stuff. So if you ever see something on the website, I've literally gone through and found that amongst loads of other items, and it's stuff that I genuinely, resonate with because it's something I like, whether it's for the color, for the style, for the detail. So I've always had that behind what I've done, the authenticity of liking what I've done, but the creating the content and the concept was such a fun, such a fun experience. And if you're not having fun with it, then it's probably not something for you. But organizing the stock drops for me was about creating a suspense that people had something to look forward to, that were engaging with the brand, and also putting respect on the people that, I guess, take the time to follow the brand. Because if you're just following a brand and they just sieve out stuff all the time and there doesn't feel like they've got a process behind it, then I feel like it kind of loses a little bit of its novelty with you feeling like you're investing in a brand that you like. Whereas I used to do lots of collections and work on different styles, and I had people employed at the time that worked on those ideas, and we had fun putting them together because they were exciting to put together. If I could have gone back, I would have definitely captured more of the behind the scenes process of putting stock drops together, because I think it would have been pretty mad for everybody to see like a load of middle-aged women preparing loads of stuff while all these like young people and models are just there shooting this image. Like, it was quite an interesting juxtaposition, but it worked for what we did. So when I come back to thinking about how you're going to organize a stock drop, I would just think about what it is you're dropping, whether it's a drop in a specific type of item, or whether you are just doing 20 items a week or 50 items a month. However you work with stock drops, I would just get it to make sense and create excitement. And this is obviously based on the people who, this is probably more of a brand-based video, but I think even if you're not a brand, you can take some point from that. People love consistency because people want consistency in their own life. Ooh. So if you see a brand that has something that's dropping 20 items every week, or they have this Nike drop that they do every Tuesday of the month, or, so many brands have certain examples. If you are witnessing consistency, it's something that we all wish that we could be consistent. So I feel like it kind of has a bit more of a resonating factor. Let me know if you disagree with that. But it'd be a random thing to disagree with, but you might do. So yeah, when it comes around to organizing the stock drops, that's kind of the things that I considered. It was definitely a really, really fun part of the brand and the business, because we got excited about like how it was going to perform. And obviously you do your typical business side of things. You review it, what went well, what didn't go well, what did we learn from this stock drop? Did we use the right models? Did we price the items correctly? Did we use the right music in the Instagram videos to like promote it? Was the advert that we used coherent enough for the audience? Did we target it to the right people? So many different aspects that we kind of just had to very quickly think and adapt to, because at the end of the day, we're a small business, and at the time, a very small team of 5 to 10 people that were channeling lots of stock out to a website that was getting 10 to 15,000 hits a day. And that's quite a lot of people and a lot of eyes and a lot of response and hope. And in our eyes at the time, that expectation of wanting to make sure that we didn't let people down and didn't give them something that they didn't enjoy. And my shoe's just come off. And it's come off again. So yeah, organising stock drops, really fun part of brand building. But I would just say, make sure that you connect yourself with the stock you're selling. Make sure that you are excited about the project that you have behind it. And if you do that and you harmonise both of them together, then it's a recipe for relative success. Obviously, success can't be guaranteed, but if you believe in the product and you believe that you've got a gap in the market of what you're doing, or you believe that the consistency will work, also, consistency requires you to do it for at least 6 months. So if it's like a monthly stock drop, don't do it for 2 months and then miss 2 months. Otherwise, there'll be no chance of people ever getting the momentum to engage with that. So yeah, gonna finish off doing this, and then I'm off ski. Thank you again for tuning in. I've been Spencer, as per, and I really hope that you are enjoying these videos. If you get to this point, just give me a thumbs up like this on the bottom, because I don't know how far people get yet, and I'm intrigued to know if you get to this point. If you do, well done. Me and all these clothes give you a round of applause. So yeah, see you later, guys. Appreciate you.